Alrighty, here goes nothing. Let's try this one more time. My fourth video today. 3 yesterday, 2 the day before, 1 each day before that. What is up, Raider Nation? CT from Real Men All Raiders. I'm exhausted, yo. I've made 4 of these videos today and none of them seem to work. Let's hope this one works. I'm just trying to talk about the Raiders, y'all. Real quick, let's let's do this again. Uh from the Niners game, what I saw compared to Seattle, the O line looked a lot better. I really wanted to see JPJ at center at some point this preseason, but I really don't think that's gonna happen. Um, they did have some good teamwork though. JPJ and Meredith, right there on that right side, helping with some double blocks to get some holes open for Genty, and then that allowed us to see Genty's ball vision. The way he's gonna run the ball, how hard he runs the ball. He's just gonna be laying dudes out all season long, and with that chemistry starting to build on the O line a little bit more, I think it's hopefully it continues to get better. The left tackle, Charles Grant, the rookie, he looked really good. He seems to have really good footwork. There was one play where he kept his man at the line of scrimmage, and all the other offensive linemen, were pushed back, into the pocket around the quarterback. So hopefully we continue to see, more growth from the offensive line. Gino and Bowers look good. How they got Michael Mayer involved in that Niner game as well. In that short amount of time, they hit Bowers and Mayer. Mayer's almost got in there for a touchdown too. So I was really happy to see that. Them utilizing both of their tight ends because Mayer's pretty good. He's a big dude, got really sure hands, and he can do a lot in the red zone and in the middle of the field. Bowers is more of a wide receiver at that position, so he's just faster and seems more like a wide receiver. So Aiden O'Connell continues to look bad. People were pounding the table for him in training camp that he's going to take Gino's job. I never thought he was. It just goes to show what being in a real game and pressure and defenders and everything, what that can really do. People were also, pounding the table for Cam Miller, saying that he should take Aiden O'Connell's job because he got us back in that game in Seattle. And look at what happened. He went and threw an interception and lost us the game against the Niners. So, I mean, I'm glad they're keeping the depth chart the way it is. Aiden should be quarterback too. He has more experience. Cam Miller looks like he has a good sense of the game, but it might just be moving a little bit too fast for him right now. So let him stay back there, develop. There was people talking about Trent Richardson coming in. I don't think that's going to happen, but who knows? Who knows? We've seen crazier things happen with the Raiders in the offseason. Running backs look good. I don't know who's going to be the backup. Zeus looks like Zeus. Sincere McCormick doesn't look too flashy. Labe was looking good on special teams, and he had a good couple runs. So shout out to him. The wide receivers look good. I really hope to see some of the starters play today, like Gino and Thornton. I really want to see them connect down the field like they've been trying to all preseason. There's been like at least one pass in each game that Gino's tried to connect with Thornton Jr. and the connection wasn't there. It was overthrown, not counting that underthrow to Thornton from Aiden O'Connell that ended up being intercepted. But there's been a couple other passes each time where or in each game where they try to connect down the field, and you see Thornton, he gets separation and he has it. He has them by like a yard or two, in front of the defender, and he's making that separation. He's doing good. He's doing good, but they just haven't really connected on it yet. So I really hope they can get that down and fix that right now in the preseason instead of doing it trying to fix it in the regular season. Right now it's preseason. Let them make the mistakes and fix it now that we have the time and the games don't really count. So that's rookies continue to put good play with the time that they have um, during the games. And I know it's with backups and everything, but still, they're showing the motivation to try and get better, and you see continuous good play from them. Like Tonka Hemingway, and I for the other guy that we got right now is I'm drawing a blank, but you see the good play from them. So I hope in this last game against the Cardinals in just a couple hours that they continue to put up good play, because this is the last game before they make the big cut down to 53. And it's going to be hard to say that who's on the back end of the depth chart, that who gets to stay and who gets to go, because with so many people getting let go around the league, there's like there has to be the possibility, or there's a good possibility that there's going to be some of these players that are let go that this regime had their eye on, and they might think they're a better fit. So it might be a little hard to say, like, this person's going to make it for sure, even though he's on that back end. Even if he makes that 53, there's still that chance that they might get cut, before the regular season. So we'll see what happens. I really want to see just some good quarterback play from Aiden O'Connell and Cam Miller in this last preseason game. I think both of them need to go out there and show that they got good understanding of the offense, and they can get out of there in a timely fashion, because Pete Carroll was already saying that they had to take a few seconds off the shot. Here I go again. They had to take a few seconds off of the play clock in order to get Aiden O'Connell to play a little bit faster, because he even said in one of his little interviews that he felt like Aiden O'Connell kind of slowed the game down out there, and he wants him to is there for him to run, and he still doesn't take it. So I don't think that's an option in his bag. He I don't think he moves very well, running with the ball. So I don't think that's gonna happen. Gino, on the other hand, he has a little bit of movement. We saw a little bit of it. I like it. Um, moving back to the defense, I was one that said the linebackers were fine, and going back and looking at play, like they're really like a step or two behind when it comes to like the coverage, especially zone coverage. It just feels like they're giving up those little pockets, those little soft spots, just a little bit too easy. You go back and you watch uh, the little cross routes in the middle and everything. The receiver gets the ball, and there's a few defenders and everybody around him, and no one's close enough to interrupt the pass or tackle him as soon as he gets the ball. It's always like, uh, a few seconds, or a few yards, down the field, so they're all able to, make the stop. And it just seems like they're like a step or two behind. Same thing with the secondary, you know, uh, like the cornerbacks, and the safeties and everything. Like the tackling has been bad. The tackling has been really bad. Like Palomao, he's out there like thinking he's in Madden, throwing hit sticks and shoulders everywhere, flying around the field, and he's kind of just bouncing off defenders. So I would really like to see them start to tackle. I would really like to see a little bit of improvement when it comes to the coverage from the linebackers. I really want to see what our depth is on the offensive line and defensive line in this last game. Like I said, I hope to see some play from the starters. It's a whether it's a couple series back and forth. I doubt they'll play like more than like a quarter, but we'll see what happens. And I hope we win this game. I hope we put some good play out there, and we kind of fix the little issues that have been in the last. It's preseason. I think it would be good for us get that momentum going, and just a little boost a little bit of confidence for the team. Like I said, regardless if it's preseason, get that first win under the belt, and really really go into the regular season with our heads high and ready to put in some work. And one last thing I wanted to talk about, that I don't, before I end the video, that I don't really see a lot of people kind of touching on is how bad our home field advantage has gotten over the years. Like that Niners game was ridiculous. Like there was so much red in the stands. Like like the only black that was in that you could see was like painted inside the stadium. Like it was horrible. And I made a video about this when they first started letting fans back into the stadium after everything that happened. Because that first season there was no fans in the stadium, but after everything that that the Raiders have been through, the really bad seasons, the bad head coaches, the bad trades for players, the bad draft picks, it's kind of hard for, your average person to go out there and, if they have to travel, spend, thousands of dollars, for a room, for spending money, for food, for tickets for the game, because at one point the Raiders tickets were the most expensive in the league. And I know that was when the stadium just first opened, and like it being Vegas, but that's my whole point is that there's no other venue like it in the NFL. Like Vegas is Vegas. You can walk out of the stadium with your drink and walk around the strip, and there's so much for the family to do. Like it's not just an NFL game. It's not like, traveling to LA and, going to the Coliseum and getting a bite to eat, at somewhere around there, and like that's it. There's so much to do around Vegas, and the whole family could make like a whole vacation and trip out of it if they decide to. So, that's another thing is when it comes to the prices, some people don't have to travel like me. I'm only a few rent a room out there because rooms and food and everything out there gets expensive. Like they take advantage of being on the strip. So I think until we start to win at least like more games, and I say like 2 years consistently in the playoffs, a Super Bowl within like, 4 or 5 years, like it's going to be really hard to get that home field advantage back. And even then, fans are going to want to travel from everywhere just to go see a Raiders game, especially if they're NFL fans, because there's just so much to do in Vegas, especially if they've never been to Vegas. It's just more reason to take the whole family or go out there and have a good time. So until we really start to win and we start to buckle down and prices get better and everything like that, it's going to be hard for us to get home field advantage back. But once again, I am CT from Real Man or Raiders podcast. You already know how it is. Win, lose, or ties, Raider Nation till I die. And all of you, thank you guys once again. If you like the video, hit that like, subscribe. I'm going to continue to do my best to try and put a video out as much as I can. And I ain't going to be clipping old videos and saying it's new videos. I don't do stuff like that. So if I say it's a new video, it's new video. When I go live, I'm really going live. Um, but yeah, once again, thank you guys all that hung around and waited for me to come back. To all you new people, I hope you guys stick around, hit that subscribe, hit the like. It's really how we get our videos out there and get more people, on the channel, interact with the channel and make it grow. So keep doing what you love what you do. It's Raiders. Let's go, baby. Peace out.